Hello, my name is Brian Murphy and welcome to Ballet Fit Body videos. Today we are going to walk through some fundamentals on how to take a barre class. Number one, when you stand in sixth position and when you bend the knees, you need to be careful and aware that your knees are going over your toes. So just stand nice and tall. I have a chair here, but typically a barre class is done on a ballet barre. But we don't all have ballet bars, so we have chairs, counters, so on and so forth. So grab yourself something, put your left hand on it, have your legs nice and parallel. You're going to do what we call a plie. When you bend the knees, your knees go over your toes and stretch. Just do that 4 more times. You're going to bend the knees. Hips are square, shoulders are square. Very, very important that you keep that alignment as you bend the knees. Do that 3 more times. Right now you should feel very easy. Bend and stretch. 1 more time there. Bend and stretch. Next position, you're going to go to a first position. Rotation. From the side, if you put your legs in sixth position here, you lift up, bring your heels together, lower down, you get your true turnout or first position. From here, to see how it feels, go back to parallel. So we're going to go in and out. Let's say we do that 4 times. So you lift up, rotate to turn out position, lower down. Lift up, back to parallel, lower down. Again, lift up, turn out, lower down. Last time, lift up, turn in, lower down. You must be aware of how far you turn out. When you're in that first position, there is a tendency to push the heels forward. As you can see, problems are going to arise. Your knees are going to get out of whack. Your hip alignment to your feet, not good. And everybody's turnout is a little different. So when you go turn, you want to turn it slightly more in. So when you bend or plie, your knees should be over your toes. Your hip is in line with the middle of your foot. And when you straighten your legs, you're in as good of alignment as you can to get the most out of your turnout. The next thing is the pelvis. They're going to ask, sometimes you go to a class and they ask you to tuck. I'm going to show you what that looks like. They ask you to bend the legs and they say, I want you to tuck. You can see the potential dangers of this. You're here like this. I'll show you from the front. Here. Look at my back. It's slouch. When we take a class and they ask you to tuck, it's a problem. So, what you want to do when you bend the legs, even if they ask you to do so, go to neutral. You will get more out of it. Not only that, when you tuck, and when they say tuck and burn, when they ask you to do that, what's really happening is that your hip flexors are firing up. They're going like a rope. Boom. It's no longer a core workout. You might feel your glutes. That's the benefit. But the tension in the hip flexors outweigh any kind of benefit that you're going to get from the glutes. Continuing on with why you should tuck. The thighs, they start gripping. Again, it's connected to the hip flexors. Thighs, hip flexors, abs, your psoas. Yes, let's fire them up. Let's fire them up. When you plie or bend, if you go straight down and straight back up, you will feel the gluteus. You can engage in the back of the legs and still keep your pelvis neutral. Because in everyday life, you're not going to walk around like this, correct? So you want to work out the way you want to live as correct or in as best posture as you can. So it's okay to activate the glutes. Of course it's okay. It's not okay to tuck and then pulse in a tucking position. Unnecessary and not good for your body. The last part of this is when you're on half point. I think half point's a great exercise for strengthening the ankles, calves, and getting the connection to the back of the legs. So when you rise up on half point, doesn't matter how high you go, you want to activate your glutes and then lower down. Not only are you going to activate the glutes, but you're going to activate your core. Again, you're going to rise up and you're going to lower down. Activate the glutes. 2 more times. Rise up. Activate the glutes. This exercise, this one particular one, going up and down, will engage the calves, will work the ankles, but you're in alignment. Lower down. 2 more times, just feel that. Lift it up, lengthen your legs, and then lower down. 1 more time, lift up, 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 and lower down. You might be asked to pulse on half point. When you rise up, and I'll show you at a different angle, you rise up, they're going to ask you to bend the knees, and they're going to say, I want you to pulse, pulse, and pulse, and pulse. From the side, these are the dangers and the benefits. First, let's look at the benefits. When you rise up, when you bend the knees, if you keep neutral, if you keep your ankles from rolling back, and you have alignment from your toes, ankles, knee, hip, shoulders, and you start pulsing, you'll feel a benefit. All alignment. If you lose the ankle, you tuck, you can see the problems that are going to arise, maybe not in one class, but over a period of time, you're going to start to maybe feel some tension in your knees or your hips, or you wonder why your back is feeling kind of out of whack. Even your shoulders, because we tend to hunch. We pulse, we feels it good, we feels it good. You get more out of the pulsing action if you were to keep your feet flat. That way you create yourself a base. Very important. You create yourself a base so you can pulse in, pulse in, pulse. You don't have to worry about the ankle going out. You can focus in on posture. Because we want to be tall. We want beautiful posture. We want to work out in a way that creates long, lean, and conditioned muscles. Thank you so much for joining me today. Hope you learned a lot. and you will start to see some of my ProBarre for Brian classes. Thank you for joining Ballet Fit Body videos. Click and subscribe.